A very good evening to Dr. Doria. I am Bavani Sri will be presenting my case about the wrong answer on the New York racial Aviv 2014. In an era of high-stake testing, a struggling school made a shocking choice. Rachel Aviv, in her 2014 article in the New York entitled Wrong Answer, report on how standardized test scores were inflated at Park Middle School in Atlanta, Georgia. Teachers were cheating on the student test script by changing some wrong answer to right one. This piece provoked varying questions, including one of the ethics and struggling within the education system after the No Child Left Behind Act was enforced in 2002. Damani Lewis was a 29-year-old math teacher at Park Middle School in Atlanta. The school was in a rundown neighborhood 3 miles south of downtown that was plagued by the armed robberies. Lewis himself had grown up in a violent neighborhood. He empathized with his students and was devoted to their success. A colleague described Lewis as a star teacher and a very hard worker who will go to the extra miles. Lewis was a teacher when Beverly Halls was Atlanta school superintendent. Hall believed that business approach and the value of the market system could save public education. She set accountability measures for the Atlanta School District and create performance objectives that were tougher than those of No Child Left Behind, the federal program that became law in 2002. Teacher evaluation were linked to student performance on standardized tests. Schools whose students did not make appropriate progress toward the standardized test goal receive escalating sanctions that culminate in replacement of the faculty and staff and restructuring or closing of the school. Park Middle School was classified as a school in need of improvement for the previous 5 years. Unless 58% of students passed the math portion of the standardized test and 67% passed the language art portion, Park Middle School could be closed down. Its students will be separated and bused across town to different schools. Lewis had pushed his students to work harder than they ever had in preparing for the test. But he knew that it would be very difficult for many of them to pass. Christopher Waller, the new principal of Park, had heard that teachers in the elementary school that fit into Park had changed their student answer on the standardized test under the use of erasing straight pencil mark. Waller asked Lewis and other teachers to do the same. Lewis found the exam of students who needed to get a few more questions right in order to pass. He changed the answer. If he did not change the score, Lewis feared that these students would lapse into why try attitude. They will lose their neighborhood school and the community that had developed within it. The same process of changing answer continued at Parks through 2010. By that time, 9 other teachers were helping Lewis change answer. In October of 2010, 50 agents of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation visit Park and other Atlanta schools. The investigator concluded that teacher and administrator at whatever school had cheated in the manner that Lewis had. In July of 2012, 110 teachers who had confessed or been accused of cheating were placed on administrative leave, including Lewis. Later that year, Lewis' employment was terminated. The key lesson learned from this case that Aviv starts and ends with a teacher and a principal who are both good people. They lost their moral bearing in an effort to help poor children of color during the time of No Child Left Behind. They committed what was then a mostly victimless crime. They cheated on a relatively meaningless NCLB test at a time when the stakes for improving test score were not nearly as high as they are today. First, from here I can say that Park Middle School should implement the two concepts of quality, that is procedural and transformational. Here the school should place considerable emphasis on working to the defined system and procedures to produce a standardized or quality outcome. Quality can seen to be achieved by putting system and procedure into operation and ensuring that those systems are effectively operated. From here, I can see the effort the teacher and principal put on the student standardized test by erasing some wrong answer into right one give negative impact to student itself and school too. Their behavior polluting the educational environment or system. The teacher should accept whatever result get by student and from the database teacher gain, and the school management should try to implement new teaching and learning strategy in school. Second will be strategic quality management, which is the process based on staff on different level making their own unique contribution to the quality education improvement. Like in this case, we can see Waller also asked Lewis and other teachers to do the same, and Lewis found that exam student who needed to get a new more question right in order to pass. This shows the principal and teacher attitude of indifference and dishonesty and lack of trust in their work. As what I was learned in quality management in education emphasize on aiming at achieving quality goal can achieve through planning, monitoring, assuring and improving quality. So in this case, the principal and teacher did not have a proper planning and improving method in Park Middle School. If every members of the Park Middle School brings closer to the total quality management, it will be develop a great achievement in school performance as well. Third will be a management commitment. This is the essential first step in the quality program. The quality initiative must be sanctioned and led by senior management or school principal. Like in this case, the new principal was urged to force a stronger relationship with fellow principal. In other words, appropriate their technique for jacking up test scores. In order to protect children from having their school closed, the principal conforms to the district culture and create an us them mentality among the staff. The principal should communicate in a quality policy statement which need to be short, clear and accessible. The second step built on commitment with setting up quality management team which every member can contribute in decide how to specify quality failure and improvement. It is important to be able to measure the current and potential situation which permit on objective evaluation and correction action. Third one, if I am a teacher at Park Middle School, we'll come up with the 3P framework which lead to propose, to process and the process to people. This is where to creating a positive school culture. School principal can first visualize the kind of learner and outcome they desire. Identify why we are doing what we are doing as a school community. Keep the destination in mind and stick to the process wholeheartedly to see change through. The second is process, which consists of three steps. The first step is unpack school value, like leader decide on desired value together with their staff, teacher to bring everyone on the same page to emulate and translate into behavior. The second step is to undertake a cultural gap review, where principal can identify the strength and area of growth and draw up an action plan to achieve the desired culture. The third step will be implement the action plan to address the issue identified in step 2. Set up program and system for staff and student to enforce value and the best practice. Provide resource and empowerment all members to take ownership of the action plan. Finally, people. We're implementing and facilitating culture building the differentiating factor in having a nurturing and supportive school culture which focusing on the softer aspect by caring for the people. The people in the school must have sense of fulfillment and feel valued and trusted. I also will creating and maintaining a positive culture in school which divide into three aspects. That is, go upstream to the source of problem. The school principal or leader can take time to identify and solve the root cause of recurring issue. To do this, the leader can ask at least 3 levels of cause and effect question and identify whether other visible problem lead to the same root cause. And identifying the root cause of multiple visible problem is the key to develop long-term and sustainable solution. Next will be take the easy win earlier which lead to the understanding root cause and changing predominant mindset. An early reaping of the reward of low-hanging fruit can encourage student, teacher and staff to be excited by the process. Lastly will be the fail fast, fall forward and finish upward. Here leaders should define what success look like, set target and monitor the outcome regularly. From this school improvement can be measured by data or observable behavior. Engage in quick and short cycle, make quick adjustment or discern whether a change of plan is necessary. The last, I will be creating a quality improvement team. This team is to help improve the educational performance of students and support the district goal. The team meets regularly to oversee the implementation of school improvement goal. Involvement of school management, superintendents, principals, school board members, and district support of staff constitute management all will be gathered in the decision making on how to create a good quality of education system in Park Middle School. Thank you.